kids, we are going to test your general knowledge. You have 50 questions and 10 seconds for each. Are you ready? Let's go! What is the capital of the United States? B is the correct answer. Which planet is known as the red planet? B is the correct answer. What is the largest mammal in the world? B is the correct answer. Who is Mickey Mouse's best friend? A is the correct answer. What is the capital of France? B is the correct answer. How many legs does a spider have? B is the correct answer. What color is an apple? C is the correct answer. Who wrote The Cat in the Hat? A is the correct answer. What comes after Tuesday? A is the correct answer. Which is the smallest planet in our solar system? B is the correct answer. What is the color of the sun? A is the correct answer. How many continents are there on Earth? C is the correct answer. What do you use to see things that are far away? A is the correct answer. Which animal says B is the correct answer. What is the capital of England? B is the correct answer. Which planet is closest to the sun? C is the correct answer. What is the largest ocean on Earth? is the correct answer. Which fruit is known as the king of fruits? B is the correct answer. How many fingers does a person have on one hand? B is the correct answer. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? B is the correct answer. What is the largest land animal? B is the correct answer. Which season comes after winter? A is the correct answer. How many colors are there in a rainbow? B is the correct answer. What do you use to write on paper? B is the correct answer. What is the tallest mountain in the world? A is the correct answer. What is the capital of China? A is the correct answer. Which planet is known as the morning star or evening star? A is the correct answer. What is the smallest animal in the world? B is the correct answer. What do you wear on your feet? B is the correct answer. Which fruit is yellow and is a great source of vitamin C? B is the correct answer. How many legs does a cat have? A is the correct answer. What is the opposite of happy? A is the correct answer. Which is the largest bird in the world? B is the correct answer. What is the main ingredient in guacamole? B is the correct answer. Who painted the Mona Lisa? C is the correct answer. What is the largest planet in our solar system? B is the correct answer. Which animal is known for its humps? A is the correct answer. What is the capital of Australia? C is the correct answer. How many wings does a butterfly have? A is the correct answer. What is the currency of Japan? A is the correct answer. What is the capital of South Africa? C is the correct answer. Who was the first person to step on the moon? B is the correct answer. Which gas do plants release during photosynthesis? A is the correct answer. What is the currency of the United Kingdom? B is the correct answer. Who wrote the Odyssey? A is the correct answer. In what year did Christopher Columbus first reach the Americas? A is the correct answer. What is the smallest country in the world? B is the correct answer. Who wrote War and Peace? B is the correct answer. What is the capital of Russia? B is the correct answer. Which gas do humans breathe in? B is the correct answer.